Welcome to our Mock Interview Pro series, where today we're diving into how to ace your interview for the role of a medical information officer. If you're ready to make an impact in the healthcare industry by improving how medical information is managed and communicated, then you've come to the right place. Let's kick things off with the first question that's sure to come up in your interview. Can you tell us about a time you introduced a new idea or process to improve managing medical information? This question is designed to understand your ability to innovate and enhance processes within the medical information field. Here are some helpful tips to tackle this question effectively. Pinpoint a specific issue in managing medical information that you addressed. Explain the new idea or process you came up with and implemented. Share how you executed this idea and who you collaborated with. Highlight the positive outcomes or improvements that resulted. Be ready to discuss any obstacles you faced and how you overcame them. To help illustrate, here's an example answer.
In my previous position, we faced challenges with slow access to medical databases. I spearheaded the creation of a centralized digital repository, organized training sessions for staff, and worked closely with IT to ensure smooth access, ultimately reducing information retrieval time by 40%. In another instance, I noticed inconsistent reporting of adverse events and introduced a standardized reporting template, conducted team workshops, and enforced compliance through regular audits. This initiative improved our reporting accuracy by 70% within 6 months.
By the way, we're only covering a handful of questions in this video, but I've prepared a free PDF with all 30 top interview questions for Medical Information Officer. It also includes example answers and tips to help you prepare with confidence. The download link is just below. Think back to a time when you worked as part of a team on a medical information project. What was your role? And how did you ensure the project's success? The goal here is to gauge your teamwork skills and your ability to contribute effectively to a group's success. To prepare for this question, consider these tips. Choose a specific project that showcases your teamwork skills. Clearly define your role and responsibilities in the team. Discuss how you communicated with team members and stakeholders. Address any challenges faced and your role in overcoming them. Conclude with the project's successful outcome and any lessons learned. Let's take a look at an example response.
During a recent drug launch project, I served as the lead medical information officer. I coordinated with clinical teams to collect data and ensured effective communication through weekly meetings. Despite a tight deadline, we successfully delivered accurate information for the launch, which increased our outreach by 30%. In another project, while developing an FAQ document for healthcare professionals, I gathered data from various sources and collaborated with regulatory affairs and clinical teams. After organizing a workshop to resolve conflicting data, we produced a unified document that addressed over 500 inquiries successfully.
Can you provide an example of a time when you had to communicate complex medical information to a non-expert audience? How did you ensure they understood? This question assesses your communication skills, particularly your ability to simplify complex concepts for those without a medical background. Here's how you can effectively approach this question. Think of a specific situation where you communicated medical information. Adapt your language to suit the audience's level of understanding. Use analogies or simple terms to explain complex concepts. Encourage questions to clear up any potential misunderstandings. Summarize key points to ensure the audience's comprehension. Here's an example to give you a clearer picture.
During a community health seminar, I explained the importance of vaccinations to parents unfamiliar with medical jargon. I used the analogy of a shield protecting against invisible enemies and encouraged questions to make sure everyone felt comfortable and grasped the material. In another instance, I presented findings from a complex medication study to a group of patients. By comparing the medication's effects to everyday experiences, I simplified the data. I also invited questions and provided clarifications to reinforce their understanding.
Imagine discovering a colleague has leaked sensitive medical information. How would you handle the situation? This question tests your ethical judgment and ability to handle sensitive situations with professionalism. Consider these steps when answering this question. Calmly assess the situation and gather all relevant facts. Report the incident immediately to your supervisor or appropriate authority. Maintain confidentiality by not discussing the leak with others. Be willing to assist with any investigation required by your organization. Follow up to understand the actions taken and how to prevent future incidents. Here's an example of how you might respond.
If I discovered a leak, I would first gather all the details and document my findings. Then I would report it to my supervisor immediately, ensuring confidentiality by not sharing the information with anyone else. I would participate in any necessary investigation and follow up to understand the measures taken to prevent such incidents in the future.
How do you handle conflicting pieces of medical information from different sources? What steps do you take to determine which source to trust? This question evaluates your decision-making process and your ability to critically assess information. Here are some strategies to answer this question. Check the credibility of each source by researching their background and expertise. Look for corroboration from trusted medical guidelines or databases. Evaluate the quality of evidence provided, such as peer-reviewed studies. Consider the context and potential biases of each source, including funding and affiliations. Consult with colleagues or experts if additional insights are needed. Let's see how you might frame your answer.
I would start by verifying the credentials of both sources, prioritizing information from reputable medical institutions. Then, I would look for corroborating literature to support one perspective over the other. If necessary, I'd discuss the issue with my team to gather further insights. In another scenario, I would review the scientific basis of each claim, considering peer-reviewed articles and authoritative guidelines, such as those from the WHO, to determine which source aligns more reliably.
Before we wrap up, remember you can get all 30 questions, example answers, and step-by-step tips in a handy PDF. Totally free, just grab it below.